Hey, today let's talk about how to ferment oats in milk. Because fermenting them removes anti-nutrients and makes the nutrients more accessible for digestion. It's a little bit similar to a sourdough bread. Did you know you can make bread with milk kefir starter? Yes, you can. That's because the bacteria and yeasts in both are pretty similar. And now it's basically just that you ferment oats instead of like wheat or rye. But first I tell you what I will link for you in the description. I will link a video about how to make bread with milk kefir instead of sourdough or yeast. And I will put a link to a video about how to make milk kefir to begin with. You'll also find that video link at the end of this video. So let's start by getting a brand new batch of milk kefir. And now after saving the milk kefir grains, you can start a new batch. So the new batch here is on the left side. But from here on, we focus on the kefir on the right side, which is the finished batch. Well, now on the left side, the one without the kefir sticker. It will ferment the oats in what is called a second fermentation. I guess it depends on the type of oats, but in general a ratio of 1 part oats to 4 parts kefir should work well. Here it's round about a quarter cup of oats and a cup of kefir. And be sure that this stays out of the refrigerator for 12 to 16 hours. Then you eat it or move it to the refrigerator. But with fermentation there are not really many cut-in-stone rules, especially time-wise. Some like to ferment more sour, some less, and the cultures one is different from another. So this batch turned out nice and creamy. The oats put some creaminess into the kefir due to the starches. But let's say you tried a 1:3 or even 1:2 ratio oats to milk and it turned out too thick, like you see here. We can call it brick batch. And you can thin your brick batch with normal milk, but then you leave it out some more hours, maybe 4, because then it's also a second fermentation where the kefir ferments the milk. It cannot be done for ongoing kefir fermentation because you need the grains, but for like 1 to 2 batches, maybe 3, kefir will make kefir without the grains too. And of course you can also thin a brick batch with readily fermented kefir. In that case, give it just 1 or 2 hours more fermentation time outside the fridge, because the oats were already fermented even in a brick batch, but maybe there were some dry spots. And the kefir that you use for thinning doesn't need fermentation anymore, it's already ready fermented. Okay, that's it. Do you think great-great-great-grandma approves of it? I'm sure she approves of it. So I didn't naturalize any commercial product or recipe, because oats are already natural, but we can try to ferment our grains whenever possible to naturalize our food.